In this video, we're going to do some review, повторение, of some important concepts from Между, нами, chapters 1 through 5. It's unexpected that you would be able to master the material. This is just to kind of refresh your memory. Remember that Russian nouns all have gender. There are 3 genders, masculine, feminine, and neuter, and then of course there's singular versus plural. Masculine nouns end in a consonant or мягкий знак, like stol, slovar. Feminine nouns end in a, ya, or мягкий знак, like майка, кухня. Note that this means that whenever you see a noun that ends in a мягкий знак, you have to memorize whether it's masculine or feminine. Neuter nouns tend to end in o, ye, or yo, like окно, платье. However, neuter nouns also include neuter indeclinable foreign words. So some of those end in another letter, like такси. Plurals will end in и, а, or я in most cases, like столы, майки, окна, платья. Identify what gender these nouns are. Remember that in Russian, we have pronouns and they have various forms. So if we look at the singular nominative form of the pronouns, they go я, ты, он, она, оно, мы, вы, они. We've also seen the accusative or genitive forms of these pronouns. It might help you to remember that the accusative form is the one that we use in the construction, what is your name? Как вас зовут? Or how do they call you? So я becomes меня, ты, тебя, and notice how they rhyme. Он and оно are его, она ее, мы нас, вы вас, and it's not by chance that those rhyme, they're similar, they're both plural. Они, их. Remember that verbs in the present tense have one of 2 conjugations, what we might call the first conjugation or the second conjugation. And these are the 2 major verb patterns. Almost all verbs follow these patterns in some way. So some examples of the first conjugation are the verb читать, жить. The second conjugation, verb говорить. And I think it's a good idea to know really well the verbs читать, жить, and говорить, so that you can make analogies with new verbs. Notice that the ya form is similar in first and second conjugation. The ты, он, мы, вы forms are also similar. What's the difference? In the first conjugation we have ye or yo, whereas in the second conjugation we have I, and that pattern follows throughout. If you know that читать is читаешь, then you also know that it will be читает. They will always be consistent. The form that is the most different is the они form. In first conjugation we have ut, ют. In second conjugation at, ят. Again, if you can remember that читают is different from говорят, when you learn a new verb, you'll be able to know which one to put it with. Verbs in the past tense are easier than the present tense. First, you take the infinitive, which usually ends in te мягкий знак, and then add the gender ending. So masculine l, like читал, жил, говорил. Feminine la, читала, жила, говорила. Neuter is lo. We haven't seen it all that much, but definitely it can show up. читала, жила, говорила. And plural li, читали, жили, говорили. Notice that these patterns follow the same patterns as what we see with noun gender. So the masculine ends in a consonant, the feminine ends in a, neuter ends in o, plural ends in e. That's consistent from what we know about noun gender. So try conjugating these two verbs, both in the present, or what we might call non-past, and in the past tense. How did you do? Приглашать is like читать, whereas повторить is like говорить. Here's some overview, quickly, about some of the case uses. We've focused, for the most part, on 4 cases. Nominative, and nominative is the case of naming, or the subject of the sentence. Or you can have sentences something like X equals Y, like John is a student. Both of those words will be in the nominative case. The nominative case is the case that you would find in the dictionary. Accusative case is used for direct objects. Direct object is the thing that receives the action of the verb, like he loves her. He is the subject, so nominative. Her is the object, receiving the love. So she's in the accusative. Он ее любит. Accusative can also be seen in time expressions, like when you talk about on what day of the week something happens. В пятницу у нас обычно лекция. And accusative is also used for going to a place, like я иду на работу. We've seen the genitive case used for several things. One being a lack of something or absence. So, у меня нет машины. We've also seen genitive used with prepositions like у. And specifically with у, it's used for talking about what you have. У меня одна сестра. We've seen genitive with of, like Museum of Art, Музей искусства. And we've seen genitive with possession, or like apostrophe s. Это дом мамы. This is my mom's house. The prepositional case is used when we're talking about being in a place, being in a location. Он живет в Мичигане. Or when talking about something with the preposition о. Мы говорили о русской истории. As you can guess, prepositional is always used with a preposition. We've talked briefly about the dative case, and we will use it a lot more this year. Dative is used for indirect objects, which means to or for whom something is done, feelings, and impersonal expressions. We'll get back to this very soon. And we haven't seen much, but we will, of the instrumental case. We can use it to talk about someone does something with someone else. Or we can also talk about using something as an instrument, what you do with something. So these are the 6 cases in Russian. We focused somewhat on the first 4, and we'll focus more on those this year, as well as adding dative and instrumental. Try figuring out what case you would use in translating the words in these sentences that are in bold.